as we're hearing, Michael Gove has reportedly rejected the post of Brexit Secretary. That's obviously turned up the pressure on Theresa May. Where do things stand now?
Well, it's a really good question. We actually haven't seen or indeed heard from Michael Gove, who's the current British Environment Secretary, in the last day or so, really since this crisis began. All we do know is that in the cabinet meeting on Wednesday night, he was one of the more vocal supporters of Theresa May's deal. Maybe one of the reasons that yesterday it was reported that he had been offered this job of Brexit Secretary, trying to replace Dominic Raab. What is interesting about Michael Gove, though, that he's not just any cabinet minister. He is and was a leading Brexiteer. During the referendum campaign, he was one of the faces of the campaign here in the United Kingdom. And essentially, Isabel, he's one of the few cabinet ministers who would have the authority and the political, I suppose, reputation amongst Brexiteers to take on that challenge of being Brexit Secretary. It would certainly be a big coup for Theresa May if he were to take up the job. But as you say, the suggestions of this morning is that he is not going to do that, not least of all because he's made it clear that he would only take that job in the event of being able to renegotiate the deal with the European Union. Theresa May has made it clear that this is the only deal. It is not up to renegotiation. And so in those circumstances, in fact, Michael Gove might actually resign from the cabinet. That would be another significant blow for the Prime Minister. It might even potentially, people are suggesting, prove fatal for her premiership, such as the reputation of Mr Gove.
Well, yeah, but there's also other damning blows. For example, the DUP has said that the Brexit deal is dead unless May is replaced, and then also hearing reportedly will be reportedly replaced. And we're also hearing that there's been more letters sent, of low confidence letters sent to the 1922 committee. Darren.
Yes, but the reason this is so difficult for Theresa May is that she has ultimately got no majority. Even with the supplying confidence deal, which she has with the Democratic Unionist Party, that Northern Irish party, only 7 votes. The changes of 7 MPs' votes would mean that she would face defeat. That is why the DUP, with their 10 MPs, essentially all but saying that the supplying confidence deal is now dead between them and the Conservative Party unless they change the Prime Minister, unless they change the leader of the party, is so crucial. So yes, pressure on that end. Second of all, pressure, as you say, from her own backbenchers within the Conservative Party. Again, continued suggestions that they will reach this magic number of 48 MPs, 15% of the parliamentary party, calling for a leadership challenge. That would prompt that challenge. By all suggestions, Number 10 are saying that they would face up to it, that Theresa May would be prepared to do that. And the suggestion is, even if she did stand, she would probably win the vote of confidence because, of course, they would need a majority of MPs to try and defeat her. And that is why we're seeing this strategy, Isabel. Despite the cabinet resignations, despite the DUP's protests, despite the backbench rebellion, Theresa May is now trying to appeal to the nation. She's trying to go over the head of her MPs. She's trying to talk to voters, to the British public, and tell them that ultimately the choice they face is to have this deal, which is her deal, no deal, or remaining inside the European Union. She's going to appear on a commercial radio station later on this morning, take phone calls from the general public. It'll be interesting. It's not her natural habitat. She's not terribly good with relating to the average British voter. But this is where Downing Street now feel that the battle has to be, because they feel that things are really, really difficult inside Parliament. So they're trying to essentially say that Theresa May is acting in the national interest, not necessarily what in her party interest or indeed what her party wants.
Well, exactly then, Darren, where would you say that this Brexit deal now stands? You know, does it have legs? Is it viable still?
Is it viable? I'd have to say, if it's on life support, Isabel, I think the life support machine might be about to be turned off. Not least of all because even though Theresa May is now digging in, and we are definitely seeing her perseverance, you know, this lady is not for turning on this issue of her deal. The fundamental problem is that you cannot get away from the basis that most MPs in there, the people who need to vote on this, simply are not sold on that deal. And whatever Theresa May does now, I cannot see how that is going to change. So she can stay in Downing Street for as long as she wants. She can has many press conferences and talked to the British public. But so many MPs, both on her own side and in opposition, came out yesterday saying that they cannot support this deal. I do not see, even by just remaining in power, how she can force this through. And if that is the case, many would say, why is she still in Downing Street if ultimately her deal, what her premiership hinges on, is essentially all but dead?
Yeah, so Theresa May under fire from all sides. Well, Darren McCaffrey standing outside there in Westminster, thanks so much.